Motorsport presents Suzuki Motorsport, featuring the FIA World Rally Championship and in association with Street Skills, the 1997 New Zealand Rally Championship. Olofanaka, good evening team, and welcome to 3 in Suzuki Motorsport. I'm Clint Brown, glad you could join us. Coming up tonight, round 3 of the World Rally Champs. From the Kenyan Plains, it's the awesome Safari Rally. And also round 4, the New Zealand Street Skills Champs from Southland. Now in World Rally news, Colin McRae won the inaugural Rally of China for the Subaru team. And Kiwi driver Stu Warren had his Team Kia Formula 2 car up into the top 10 before sliding off the road on the second day after his engine began to develop a misfire. Now, the Rally of Southland can probably claim to be the world's most southern rally. I mean, there aren't too many of these sorts of events in Antarctica. In 1997, competitors faced mild weather, with rain rather than snow being the only hazard. And after their disastrous start in Dunedin, Joe McAndrew and Greg Graham were both keen to finish a rally in the points in their new Group A Subaru Imprezas.
Conditions at the end of the day, and everyone's got to drive by it. I don't really like running number 1 on the road for the road sweeper as such, but we just got to take that and push as hard as we can.
These two out front are going to really charge hard, and we know from Dunedin with the problems we had, we just didn't have the pace that we would have been able to keep up with them, but we've sorted a few out, so hopefully we'll be able to give them a run for their money.
We've got to start our championship now. We've had 2 non-finishers, so we've got to start from here. Pretty about the weather, but yeah, it was pretty damp last year, so we sort of know the roads, so we're looking forward to a good one.
Starting in Invercargill, the rally stages include roads at the very south, to Atapari in the west, and from Winton to Matara in the north. But it was stage 3, the infamous Pebbly Hills Forest, which would really shape the first day of the rally.
It's a mean old forest, and it's going to be really slippery with all the rain we had last night. But we hopefully got the right tyres for that, and we'll give it heaps and hopefully pull some time out on the other guys.
The roads down here are very demanding, like they're very tight. With this weather conditions, it's going to be quite slippery, but beautiful roads definitely down here.
Yeah, stage 3, Pebbly Hills, I'm picking that this is going to be the stage that really shapes the rally.
Certainly will, because you're full on for the whole length of the stage, like second gear, third gear, and it's a lot of hard work, and you know, once again with the weather like it is, it's going to be very interesting. You know, there could be a few spins and reverses up from overshoots, but you know, that's part of it, and having the way the top 15 cars are here today, it's going to be very fast, and it's anyone for the picking, really.
Yeah, I've had my share of problems in Pebbly Hills, and as you say, it is a tricky stage, so 2 and 3 we have to do together, so we're hoping for a nice clean run through there. I think that's the objective, just to get through it nice and tidy. Even if we're not the quickest through there, you know, I think we'll be on it.
First on the road, Joe McAndrew. As expected, he was playing road sweeper, but still posting fastest times on the first 2 stages. Greg Graham was equal with McAndrew on stage 1, quickly gaining confidence in his Group A Impreza.
This is it. Nicely done. 1.3 to next instruction.
Whoa, check out the air on that corner. No signs of the problems which sidelined Joe and Dunedin. This is full-on Subaru sideways attack. Graham responded with the time just 1 second slower, although his drive was not without its moments.
Going left and right. Power, 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 power.
Reece Jones was looking for a fast start, but the man from up north gets it a bit sideways in the deep south. But by stage 2, he was just 3 seconds slower than McAndrew. And a heavy rain shower after the top 4 cars went through gave him a break on his Group N rivals. Jeff Argyle was just back on the top place, but in a good position to go for the lead in the forest. And for the Southland fans, local rally legend Barry Robinson would be the cat amongst the pigeons all day. He was 3rd fastest here on stage 2 and would never be out of the top 10. Todd Borden came to Southland encouraged by his 2nd place at Dunedin. Certainly his driving here looked great. He could challenge Jones and Rostenberg for Group N honours. Now let's go on board and give you the chance to compare what it's like on the smooth public roads driving in a Group N rally car to the outrageously quick Group A Subaru of Smokin' Joe McAndrew. We're talking about stage 3 here. This is the Pebbly Hills Forest stage. Just watch as the road changes all in one stage.
Then turn hairpin.
Same stage, different Subaru. This is Greg Graham, and he's in trouble.
Next instruction.
Feels slow, doesn't it?
It does. It's all right though.
I think we're leaking some boost or something.
Turn K
Well,
right.
they do say the best defence is full-on attack. Ross Meekings was having a good run with the new engine in the NZRC. He was in the top 5. Rostenberg was just 1 second quicker than Meekings, despite a couple of moments on these slippery roads. But Borden was about to strike problems as he fell foul of a rock on the side of the road. But the unluckiest driver was John Silcock. 2 punctures on 1 corner, losing him 2.5 minutes. Jeff Argyle came out of the stage 2nd overall after a good clean run. But once again, the Evo 4's engine was causing concern.
Well, even we had a few problems in there. We seemed to start and have a bit of an overheating problem again, but we turned the anti-lag off and it come back down again. So I'm quite happy to be where we are.
Ashton Wood only got as far as stage 2 when a brand new turbo expired in smoke, along with his mainland series lead. Dave Strong had a narrow lead in Formula 2, the first time this season that the Daihatsu has had an advantage over the Toyota Corollas. Now, the front-wheel drive cars are at a real disadvantage in the slippery conditions. Here, compare the style and speed through the corner with the Buick Corolla. Remember, that's two-wheel drive, and Peter Day's all-wheel drive Subaru. Once again in the Suzuki Baleno class, Grant Aiken's experience allowed him to catch rookie Paul Fredrickson. But for this rally, the class has doubled its size. Fred Merkin is a Mainland Series 1300cc champion. He's experienced with front-wheel drive and already matching Aiken's pace. Joining him, the man who goes flat to the floorboards, Ross Teasdale. He's also a top Mainland Series competitor, looking to gain experience in a front-wheel drive car.
It's a different challenge. We're used to driving things with a reasonable amount of horsepower that we can get quite sideways in. Front-wheel drive isn't renowned for sideways, but Dean Buis seems to manage to get them sideways, so we'll have a go as well. Because they're wanting to get the class off the ground, they've made it reasonably easy for us to drive this car this weekend. So it's a good opportunity for us to get in front of you guys and hopefully perform well. The class itself is designed to get new people into the sport and to put a level playing field for people to get into the sport. And as I say, we hope it's going to be good value for everybody.
Todd Borden has a clear road on stage 4. It's a welcome relief after the tight forest. But check out Jeff Argyle, parked up with a blind motor.
No, well, we spent the first 3 stages just getting used to the car and running the anti-lag because we'd never run that before. And we were just about to have an attack on Joe, and then we were actually touring away from the service park, and it started misfiring, popping and banging. And we got to the control and tried to sort out any problems with it, but we couldn't find anything. So then got about 800 metres or a kilometre in and just no warning, just bang, it was gone.
Stage 5. Greg Graham is pushing hard to make up the time lost in Pebbly Hills.
So it's exactly the same. Keep it neat, come on.
Same stage, different car. This is Todd Borden, also on the same corner. As darkness falls, Graham is still trying to peg back time to McAndrew and Jones, but McAndrew responds by putting the hammer down. Jones is also coming under pressure from Rostenberg, who's just 20 seconds behind. Craig Marshall is also starting to put the pressure on, but a slow start means that most of his work is ahead of him. Ross Meekings is 5th behind Rostenberg. And Todd Borden is recovering from that suspension damage after hitting the bank, although he is now running on standard road springs and shocks as a replacement. His lights pick out Chris Ramsey, who lost 2 minutes here with fuel pump problems. But Borden's run comes to an end just 300 metres down the road in the final night stage.
That's a fucking car going. That's a fucking car going.
Also out on that stage, Barry Sexton and co-driver Chris Cobham, who were fortunate to escape serious injury. Just take a look at the photographs. So at the end of leg 1, it's McAndrew first, 96 minutes and 54 seconds, plus a 30-second penalty for stalling at the finish control and taking a push start. Second is Jones, Meekings third, Rostenberg 4th, Marshall 5th. but Greg Graham has dropped to 6th after losing a drive shaft in over 2 minutes on the last stage. Day 2 and racing through these conditions is critical on tyre choice. We spoke to ex-rally champion Neil Allport about the various tyres in use today.
Well, the four most common tyres that we're using in the New Zealand Championship now, the Dunlop, the Michelin, the Falcon and the Pirelli, all got their own individual characteristics.
Yes, they have, and as you can see, you know, we've got like 4 different types of tread, you know, on these tyres, different sizes as well. So, but really at the end of the day, they all do the similar job. Probably what we're trying to do this weekend is pick the tread and the compound that suits the road conditions the best. That's the secret.
Well, some work better than others in different conditions. For example, the Dunlop, where's that working best at the moment?
Well, we've found this weekend that the Dunlop works best on the public road stages that it's fairly heavily gravelled and the car's got to look for the grip. You know, in comparison to the Michelin, which is a lot softer with the tread, doesn't find that grip on that sort of surface quite as well. But that tyre, the Michelin, works very well in the forest where it's very slippery.
Now, I see on Greg Graham's tyres, they've actually made some cuts to the tyres. What's going on there?
Yeah, well, the Pirelli that Greg's using this weekend is a very wide tyre. So with the conditions being as they are, they're trying to narrow the tyre down and find some more grip. So they're cutting pieces out of the tyre to make the inside of the tyre a lot more open, so effectively making it a little bit narrower.
One class needing all the grip they can get is Formula 2. Dean Buist is back out in front. Dave Strong has slipped to 2nd. Jason West is struggling on after hitting a tree. So Dermot Martin is 3rd in Formula 2. In the Suzuki Bolero class, Paul Fredrickson was 3rd after Fred Merkin went off the road. Aitken has the lead but is no longer winning every stage. Yes, Teasdale is learning some new tricks and posting times only seconds away from Aitken. And despite his off-road excursion, Fred Merkin is pleasantly surprised by these small cars.
Just finding the braking's different. It's got a lot of torque, but there's not a lot of speed difference. Yeah, it's just so different.
Has that surprised you a bit?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I was surprised at how much sort of ground speed you have. If you drive them sort of carefully, they seem to keep up the speed. And yeah, we're all pretty close today, so it's good.
As the rally winds down beneath the backdrop of the magnificent Southern Alps overshadowing the Southland countryside, Greg Graham had moved back into 5th place. On stage 11, he had his sights set on catching Ross Meekings and Marty Rostenberg. He won the stage, 5 seconds faster than McAndrew, 15 seconds faster than Rostenberg, but it wasn't really closing the gap. Because even though Graham was going for it, McAndrew is a master in these conditions. The new Subaru Impreza is quicker and more nimble in the tight, twisty roads than the old Legacy. And I tell you, Smokin' Joe, he is very spectacular around these sort of roads. Rhys Jones, he's posted top 5 stages all rally and now leads Group N in 2nd overall. Rally Art teammate Craig Marshall puts in a blistering run, just 1 second slower than Jones in the Evo 4. In and Marty Rostenberg is battling with Meekings for third place. The Mitsubishi was 14 seconds down going into the stage, but it's only 10 seconds by the end. This has been Meeking's best drive all season. Ironically, their new engine is less powerful, which may be making the car more drivable. The Subaru of Stumpy Holmes was in 7th going into the stage, closing in on Craig Marshall.
The morning stage, we managed to take 5 seconds out of him, and he had a 12-second lead on us going into the stage. And I was trying pretty hard through this one and misjudged the crest and come over it sideways. It stepped out a bit more and the road went to the left and we went more to the right and we sailed into the bank, as you can see. But it wasn't through the lack of trying, I tell you.
But never say die, Stumpy. With a bit of help from his friends, maybe the car could get out. Meanwhile, Chris Ramsey was entertaining the crowds and very lucky not to break a drive shaft here. Well, Stumpy's got going, and while they've lost 23 minutes, he's still finished 5th in Group N and picked up some valuable points for the Pukekohe man. Brian Green brought the Mitsubishi Evo 4 home in 8th. Although not registered in the championship, Barry Robertson was 7th and the first Southland competitor home. Craig Marshall finished 6th. But more dramas for Greg Graham. First he spins in the penultimate stage, and it becomes obvious that there have been some serious problems.
That's why it spins.
First. Go. Go.
I wonder when that came off.
Not too far back, obviously.
It's just rear-wheel drive.
Is it?
You don't hear any stones coming off the front, do you?
No, none. Easy. Only got 500 to go.
But with four-wheel drive finally restored, the car gets a puncture on the last stage. He bravely pushes on but finishes 5th overall. Meekings and Rostenberg were tied for 3rd going into the final stage. Both drivers gave it their all. And here you can see Marty is on the limit. Last corner, last stage, and both drivers are going hard. It's down to the wire, and Meekings takes it by just 1 second. Jones finishes a great day in 2nd place. If he is to challenge Rostenberg for the championship, he has to win Group N in every rally this year. And McAndrew, the master, wins the day 2.5 minutes clear of the others. Dean Buist wins Formula 2 and is looking likely to win that category. Grant Aitken once again is first Boleno home, but he's enjoyed the challenge of a new competition in the class.
Yeah, it's been interesting actually, because we haven't had anyone to race with for a while, but having the blowtorch sort of turned up a bit on me, it's made me sort of dig a bit deeper and perform, but it's restored my confidence now. It's nice to know that if the heat's on, you can actually get up there and perform. And we've had good stages and bad stages, and on the bad ones we've lost time, so that's what the one class thing's all about, and it's great to be kept on your toes.
And Ross Teasdale did learn how to toss the car sideways. He finishes second in the class and without a scratch on the door.
Well, you finished this rally with your $10,000 bond still in your back pocket and $1,000 prize money.
Yeah, we're more than happy about that, Dave. Very pleased about that. We one time last night, just after we saw one of your crews, we went into a corner a bit, well, way too fast, and I had visions of the 10 grand flying out the window, but fortunately we gathered it up, and yeah, we're very pleased to finish with a reasonable result. We've managed to compete with Fred pretty well during the course of the day. He lost a big pile of time yesterday, so that really removed any pressure that was on us. So no, it's been a good affair, and we might do it again sometime.
And despite losing time off the road, Fred Merkin emerges in third place, a real Boleno fan.
You keen to carry on in this class?
Yeah, it's great. The competition's good, and the maintenance on them's nothing really. And the fuel's cheap, and yeah.
The drive of the rally had come from Ross Meekings.
Ross, it's been a while since you put champagne on the car.
Yeah, it's been a little while. It's been a long time between drinks, so to speak. No, it was good actually. That's the way rallying should be, right down to the wire. It's not about who's got the best tyres, it's not about who's got the best car, it's just driving hard and right to the finish, and to come out winning third by a second, I think that's well worthwhile.
But victory was short-lived for Joe McAndrew and Bob Haldane. They were excluded on a technicality when the scrutineers found their turbo was from a Japanese spec Impreza, which is slightly different to the one listed on the car's papers. The team have appealed this decision. So pending that appeal, Marty Rostenberg leads the championship and Group N on 61 points. Brian Green is second and first in Group A on 47 points. Ross Meekings moves to third on 37, Dave Owen fourth on 35, and Dean Buist leads Formula 2 on 32 points. In fact, Spoken Joe McAndrew was unsuccessful with that appeal, so the points stand. Well, this year's